Okay. It looks like Nick is here. Hi, Nick. Um, Charlie's gonna be late. He told me. How? First of all, eternal question. How is the sound? And how are you? I sound is good. Awesome. Yeah. So I should probably wait until there's like more of us, um, or I can tell this story again later. But as you know, my laptop is old. This is my old laptop, and my charger, it basically it broke. The cable it was broken, and so I couldn't charge my laptop. And because you know how it is with laptops these days, the battery only lasts like 2 hours, and that's it. And so I couldn't do anything on that laptop. So I fired up my new laptop, the one I inherited, the one I got from my mom. But uh, that laptop is brand new, and I have no, like nothing on that laptop. I don't have my Scrivener, so I couldn't write my novel. I didn't have my books downloaded, so I couldn't like read, like for research purposes, and I couldn't play the game. And I tried to download the game again, but now that site where you could download the game for free, it's now become a subscription service, and uh, you know how I feel about everything becoming a subscription service. And I said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna try and get a new charger for my old laptop." And I did. I bought one, and it worked. I was kind of afraid of an electrical fire if the charger wasn't compatible, like voltage wasn't compatible with the laptop. But it's from the same manufacturer, it's from the same brand, and it works. So it's like it's a new charger. So I now have two computers, and the irony is that the gaming computer, my it's not a gaming computer, but the computer which I used to play the games, is the old crappy one. So yeah, and maybe someday I'll download a bunch of games on the new one, but the amount of work it takes and the technical know-how, which I do not possess. So we'll just we'll stick with that for now. So and so I wasn't sure if we even could play this week because of technical issues. But the the charger arrived the next day. I didn't even know that I uh, ordered, I chose the next day delivery. I'm usually not one of those people like, oh, I need like a same day delivery, Amazon Premium, next day delivery. If I don't get that trinket tomorrow, I'm gonna die. I thought, you know what? I can wait. I have another laptop. I can do some other things. I don't have to work on my novel, every day, and we can play some other time. But it arrived the next day, and I thought, well, we might as well, because we have these things scheduled, and so why not? Nick writes, I'm glad it's working. I did check, and I do have everything saved if you ever stuck without the files. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I will probably need your help again installing Resist to Serve on the new computer, just in case this one, decides to retire by the time that we we get around to playing that game. So, but enough about my computer problems. How is Nick? Of course, no worries at all. Thank you, Nick. How is Nick? How are things? Um, Also, if there are like more people here on stream, you can also like just say hi in the chat. Uh, We're very nice and kind people here. We don't bully, regardless of what my mod bot says. Uh, Sometimes it will flag messages that it considers that the algorithm considers hostile, but they're not. It's very strict. Nick writes, "I've been doing some art. That's awesome. Playing some D&D. It's also awesome. Even work has been relatively decent, which is suspicious, but I'm trying not to overthink things." Yes, it's that classic things are going too well. Like, the calm before the storm. Like, if everything is going just a little, like, everything is going well, like at work, at home, you just look, like the other shoe is about to drop. So, yes, but the important thing is not to overthink it, because when you do, and you think that, oh, something has to be wrong, I don't want to say manifesting it, but it is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. So a little armchair psychology for you. Uh, that's awesome, and that you've been playing and doing art. I've been trying really, really hard uh, to like just calm down and get into like just reading mode. Like, I read every day for pleasure and for research, but it's like I'm just too distracted to just sit down for even like half an hour and just read without like distractions, without thinking, oh my god, I have to do this thing, I have to do that thing. Of course, my phone is a major culprit in that, and making me feel restless. But it's not just my phone, it's just anxiety over things in life, like my life, uh, in the world. So, but I've been really, really trying to just tell myself, you know what? Take this time to just read the damn book or read the damn article, and that's all you have to do for the next half hour. You don't have to do anything else. So, so yeah. Anyway, I think that maybe we should wait for Charlie before we start playing. But I do probably need to find that photo that you sent me. Oh, come on. Of that the guide, because we are about to do a stakeout at the warehouse, and I really need that guide. Otherwise, um, Agent Wilmore is gonna die again, and we can't have that. That's a good idea. It's really good to find time to do something calming and comfortable. Exactly. And I know that it is a question of time, it is a question of resources. Not everyone has the time or the resources to do that. But right now, as of now, I do have the time. And so rather than spending that time, doing this, isn't it better if I just sat down and read something? Or like even like watching a movie. In this day and age of constant distractions, constant never-ending content, like short for like everything is just so bite-sized. Just sitting down and watching a movie or like a full episode of a TV show, it already feels like commitment. It already feels like it's work, and the but by the end of it, you feel like you've actually accomplished something, even though all you did was sit silently for 2 hours watching a movie. And so this is what I'm trying to sort of train myself to do. Um, I am watching. I'm like trying to watch like a new movie like a week. So I have like a sort of a mental list of movies that I want to see. And like I do have Disney Plus. I have a subscription to a Swedish streaming platform, uh, and uh, you buy movies. You can buy rent movies there, but also uh, open source. The internet is actually still full of open source, sites where you can watch movies for free. YouTube is one of them. There are some pretty great movies that are not as popular, not as you know people just don't think about them anymore, and so they're out there on on YouTube for free, which is it sucks for for the people making the movie because they're not getting any money, but it's good for you if you want to watch movies for free. Um, let's see, Nick writes, that's a good idea. It's really good. Oh, you just I just read that comment. Yes. So yeah, so I've been trying to. I have then I have this like a list of movies I have seen like just for myself. I don't have a letterboxed, but I do catalog, movies that I have seen. Like I have like a list just for myself, and yeah, so yeah, so I'm like trying to read more books and trying to watch movies. Nick writes, yeah, that's exactly it. I sometimes find myself slipping and doing other things on my phone or laptop when I told myself I was going to watch a film because I feel like I should be doing something productive. Exactly that. I am like the same problem. And yeah, YouTube is great for old 50s films too. Yes, I love black and white horror. I also love black and white horror. Uh, I like, first of all, yes, you're always thinking that you should be doing something else with your time. Like if you're doing one thing, finally, like I'm sitting down to like read something, and my brain tells me, no, this isn't productive enough. You need to be doing something else that is more productive. And then I go and do something that is more productive. No, you have to do some third thing which is even more productive. So like you can't win. It's like your brain is working against you. But I like black and white horror, but I like good movies, like good quality movies, like horror movies. But I also like those schlocky B movies. And if there's anything that 1950s Hollywood cinema has in spades is schlocky horror movies, like horror and sci-fi. And a lot of them you can find for free on YouTube. There is one that I think is also free on YouTube, and I think it's called Flying Saucers from Outer Space, and it's a 50s sci-fi movie, and it's really cheesy, and the special effects are they're just they're 50s, but with all the cheesiness, with all the schlockiness. Now I don't know Chris Carter's mind, but when I was watching that movie, I saw a lot of X Files in that movie. So, and I mean, it's kind of a like a known factoid that uh, the X Files, like Chris Carter and the writers, they took a lot of inspiration from old sci-fi and horror movies. Some cases it was more obvious, like with Ice, which was uh, basically a ripoff of The Thing. But then again, it was such a good episode that you don't mind that it's a ripoff, right? But there were some other sources of inspiration that aren't as obvious. And if you're if you're a movie buff, I guess you can spot that um, better. But then again, like if you're into X Files and you want to learn more about the movies and shows that have inspired it, like Kojak, no, not Kojak, not Kojak, Kolchak, the Night Stalker. I still haven't seen that show. Um, but like the Twilight Zone, or and the what's the other one? God, what's the other one? The Twilight Zone and ugh, the one that was more sci-fi. I forget the title. Um, let's see. Nick writes, I don't think I've seen that one yet. I'm currently working through 70s dystopia I've missed. Outer Limits. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Outer Limits. 70s dystopia was also quite a genre. Yeah. But like just like give me like names, titles of movies that you like. Even like the bad schlocky ones. But yeah, Flying Saucers from Outer Space is it's worth your time. It really is. It's charming. And then of course you have the filmography of Ed Wood and uh, Plan 9 from Outer Space, which canonically is Mulder's favorite movie. I actually haven't seen that like all the way to the end because it was a little boring. Yes, it's bad. Like so bad that it's good, but it's also like a little boring. But yeah, I those three sort of iconic movies of Ed Wood, um, I've seen them all, and they're quite something. And there is, I mean, I like that there is this love among like I want to say cinephiles, but like people who love movies. That there is special love for bad cinema, um, like movies that were bad, but they were made in good faith. They weren't made to just be like cheap cash grabs. But you can see that there was one YouTuber that said where the ambition doesn't match with competence. So you have the ambition, but you don't have the competence. Yes, Charlie is here. Awesome. Hello, how are you? Yes, these bad movies have hard despite a lack of budget and skills. Exactly, and I don't want to sound smug, but I would rather watch a movie that has heart, but stumbled in the execution, than a very like well produced big budget movie with like it's just hollow. Yes, Charlie, I how are you? I know we just talked we just talked on Instagram, but how are you? And I think, again, I have to find that guide that Nick sent me. But yeah, we were just talking about old movies, bad movies, and how there is, they have charm and they're worth your time. Let's see. See, I don't have a cat, but my camera roll is just basically cats now because it's my neighbor's cats that I'm friends with. Okay, Charlie writes, I'm good. It's hot, annoyingly. However, I got food and I had bottles of water thrown onto my head when I stepped. What? What do you mean bottles of water thrown onto your head when you stepped outside in the garden to say hello to everyone? Wait, did you get a bottle thrown at your head or did you just dunk water on yourself to cool off? Because those are two different things. Hold on, I should have done that prior, but I need to find the. Let's see. No, that's not it. Just excuse Yeah, so, okay, Charlie writes, they all dumped water on me for context. Okay, I'm trying to clean my glasses as we speak. They have been waiting. Who? Who has thrown water at you? Why would they do that? I feel like there's some context that I'm missing. Your family, is it like to so that you would cool off? Great, where is that guide? And you should have prepared prepared. Oh, here we go. There we are. Okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot. Anyway, so we're about to do that scary stakeout. Okay, let's. Charlie writes no. Charlie writes no. It was because they all playing around in the swimming pool. Oh, okay. They planned it as a joke. All right. Thank you. Context. Okay. Let's let's play. And also tell me how the audio is. I think the last time the audio was on the game was a little too quiet, so you couldn't hear the dialogue a lot. Um, so I just, increased it just a little bit. I'm just skipping, all the intros because we've seen it before. And also, I don't want to get copyrighted because of the music. Okay. Let us play. By the way, how do you like the new layout that I did? Because like I said before, I can't. My computer does not support a true vertical display. So I tried to do this. So tell me how game sounds good. Okay, so tell me how you like this layout. If it's working for you. Maybe someday when I have a true gaming computer, I can I can do the true. I can get install the proper vertical. It looks good. Okay, well that's good. That's good to know. Okay, let's see. Load, right? Return to the investigation. Yes, that's the one. Yes, please. It's good. Good things are good. Okay, I can't read your chat for a while now. Okay, Scully's laptop is in this one, and now we actually, where's my little black book? I'm just gonna consult my own guide. Okay, stake out at the warehouse, follow step-by-step instructions, and then go to apartment and sleep. Okay, let's just save the game again, just in case, right? So that we don't have to start over. I don't know if it's really a thing because we just loaded the game, but let's just do it anyway. You can't be too careful. Yes. Like seriously, I forgot how stressful this game can get. All right. So a dark car arrives, and some spooky-looking fellows carry a crate through the front door of the warehouse. Let's sneak around back and see what they're up to. After the intruders enter the warehouse, go forward, right, two forward, left to the warehouse back door. If you wait too long, they return to the car so you can't observe their activities. Okay, pick the lock with your lockpick, open the door to enter the warehouse. Okay. Okay, wish me luck, guys. Okay, go forward, right, and then two forward, left, forward, left. Take lockpick. Open. Okay, night vision goggles. Go right, forward, left, two forward, one, two. To see some suspicious activity, select your binoculars from the inventory. Storage compartment. Floor. So now wait for them to leave. Okay. Night vision goggles again. What is this? Okay. Okay, they're gonna kill him now. I think I did something wrong. I think they're gonna kill him now. Maybe not. Because I don't remember. Okay, go forward, left, forward, to right, and look D to see the blood stain. Okay. Select that spot to have Agent Wilmore open and examine the empty compartment. What? Select that spot to have Agent Wilmore open and examine the... How do I select it? Oh, here we go. No, I just did that. Oh, I did those in reverse order. Okay, I hope they don't come back and kill him. Okay. And now use your PDA to travel. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I don't know if I did it right this time, but I'm just gonna go back to the apartment. Because we're not supposed to take anything from the scene right now, right? So it's yeah, you see some suspicious activity loading items into from a hidden storage compartment in the floor, and then blood stains until it becomes an action hand. Select the spot tab. Agent will open and examine the empty compartment. Yes. Okay. So I think we're good for now. Okay, I'm just gonna read the comments now. I wish you could just shoot them in this part. I'm pretty sure that's not how. I mean, that's illegal. Would save a lot of time. Charlie writes, I love how you need to Google glasses. You need need night vision goggles, but as soon as you need binoculars, there's enough light to see. Like, it's exactly that. Um, I don't know if there's such a thing as a night vision binoculars. Probably is, right? Maybe not in 1998. All right, I think we need to go to bed. You want to explore the apartment a little bit, you know, since we made it out alive. Might as well. Twitchers need to see owls too, I guess. No, I'm not gonna open because it's late and he needs to sleep. Let's just see what Marching Through Georgia by Lee Kennett. I wonder if it's a real book. Aquafina, is it product placement? But is it Butterfinger? I never actually tried Butterfinger. I tried a whole lot of different candy brands when I was American candy brands when I was in the U.S., but not Butterfinger. Okay, I guess this is a card from his daughter, and it says, "I celebrate my family, people close to me. There are many branches of my family tree. Loving, caring, helping, sharing. Repetitive. Come on. I celebrate my family, people close to me. Very repetitive. If you want some critique. I mourn Butterfingers. I can't find them anywhere. Oh, so you okay? So you could get Butterfingers. Where you're from? In I never seen one here in Sweden. Also, Charlie, I think Matthew would have to say a word or two about this card, about the poem in the card. I think he would find it a little trite. Okay, what else? Twin Peaks. What do you mean? Twin Peaks as. Oh, that's a beautiful painting. Is it like? Is it a real life painting? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know where my dad got them. No doubt for somewhere sketchy. It's a real book. Oh, I looked it up a little while ago. It's about General Sherman's invasion of Georgia in the 1860s. Oh, I see. I mean, this guy is a Civil War buff, right? Reference Civil War. He is such a nerd. And I mean that as a compliment. There was another subliminal message I didn't catch. Okay, this is his family. It's a Civil War bear. Seeing the owls, as Nick said, I'm joking about seeing the owls. Okay, what is behind this door? Okay, nothing. All right, let's go explore some more. The owls are not what they seem. Uh, it looks like Churchill, but it's not Churchill. What is it? I can't read the signature. Matthew critiquing a 6-year-old's work. That was probably a poem stolen from a textbook. So him. Yeah. Um, Nick, have you seen Lunch with Charles? It's free on YouTube if you want, but it's a romantic comedy, sort of drama comedy, a Canadian romantic drama comedy starring, among others, Nicholas Lee, and also he produced it. And it's really good. What did it say? Martian Tangos. Okay, sure. And it's really good. And it's very funny. And it's like, I am not a rom com person, but that one is a little different. Okay, sure. And I really recommend it. That's all I'm gonna say. And I think Charlie will agree with me. And so, like that, this is the reference: is that Nicholas Lee plays a writer, a travel writer, but he had to. He basically chose to abandon that career to be with his girlfriend, uh, and he is like he went from like being a travel writer, like traveling all over the world, to writing sympathy cards. And when we meet him, he is not in a good place. What is there? I haven't added to the list. I haven't looked into his filmography much yet. Charlie will, you know, Charlie can give you some recommendations. Okay, what are you eating? Okay, seriously, you need to eat better, Agent Wilmore. No, 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 no. Beer, cookies, sugar cereal. This is not good. Is it scotch? I think it's scotch. This is a this is such divorced dad aesthetic. You're an agent of the FBI. You need to take care of yourself so that you can do your job properly. There was some I remember from a previous playthrough there was if we go to his bedroom, I think we can find uh, his journal. Okay, what is this? Complaint for divorce. Yeah. In the municipal court, county of King, state of Washington, Barbara Marie Stanfield Wilmore, plaintiff, Craig Joshua Wilmore, defendant. Yep. Charlie writes, I obviously will agree. Also, Once a Thief is good film on YouTube, and Deadly Isolation. Deadly Isolation is not my favorite. Uh, it's a little too lifetimey for me, but I'm not gonna spoil anything. But I do like uh, what's her name? Sherilyn Fenn, Audrey from Twin Peaks. She plays the lead. I like that character. And if Nick, once if you choose to see that movie, once you finish, you'll understand why I like her. Once a Thief is super goofy, but a lot of fun. Uh, Nick writes, I haven't seen a single FBI agent take care of themselves in the X Files universe. How about Scully? She, I think, you know what I'm gonna say? Actually, Scully is pretty good at it. Um, Monica is pretty good at it, and Dog, Doggett. I don't know. Maybe not Doggett. I don't know if it's like a stereotype that the women agents have it more together than the men. But Scully and Reyes, I think, are more. They have their shit together more or less. No one, not one beach episode to look after themselves. Okay, so you guys are talking about movies. That's good. Yeah, but Deadly Isolation, I think, is also free on YouTube. All right. I wanted to go into the bathroom so that we can take a look, so that Wilmer can take a look at himself in the mirror. But you know what? We did that already. Let's. My guy Patrick. What a warning! Patrick is evil, evil. Yeah, Patrick is like Krychek will seem like a Boy Scout next to Patrick. Well, let's just say that Krychek is more emotionally stable than Patrick. Clothes winter. Good to know. Okay, what else? Yes, his journal. Okay, so this is basically him writing about his different cases and his family stuff, the divorce. Um, but there is some, he does write something about the current case. Nick writes, Scully is good at it because we have others for comparison, exactly, but she ends up isolating herself quite a bit after season one. Yes, she does. She really does. Reyes is better, I think, but also she gets worse over time, I think, especially. Uh, yeah, no spoilers, but yeah, she kind of goes off the deep end. It's a side effect for working at the X Files and the FBI. Skinner doesn't take good care of himself. You know, he's divorced. He's lonely. He didn't even know that the woman he that picked him up at the bar was a sex worker. Like, come on, you're a man. Like, you're an experienced person. Like, you're like the assistant director of the FBI. Like, you should know these things. But I guess he was lonely and vulnerable. Poor guy. Okay, March 31st, 1996. This work I'm doing is getting frustrating. Okay, wait a minute. Is this the. Okay, yeah, it's the first page. Chris Carter, I'm coming for you. I think a lot of people want to come for Chris Carter. I, of course, want to come for him mostly for what he did to Krychek. And also some like inconsistencies in the mythology. No complaints about how he handles the Mulder and Scully situation. No complaints there. Uh, okay, this work is getting frustrating. I've been beating my head against a brick wall trying to get a resolution to this case. Militias are pernicious force in America, and they will become even more dangerous and enjoy a greater measure of success as long as ignorant citizens allow them to flourish. Because, he feels strongly about these things. This isn't just a job for him. Last week, after a protracted legal battle, 7 members of the Lightning Strike Brigade from Redmond were bound over for trial, charged with conspiracy, tax fraud. I need a whole board meeting with him. Yeah. Okay. Robbery, federal weapons violations, bomb making, and possessions of explosive devices, despite the efforts of their lawyers to derail the grand jury proceedings. Amazing. I can't believe these sharks. After all the Bureau did, including gaining the cooperation. I did. Did that take some doing of the state authorities and county sheriff to bring these guys in and wrap them up in an ironclad case, courtesy of some fine bureau work. It sounds like he's watched some Twin Peaks. Work, thank you. You'd think these lawyers would just resign themselves to trying the case. No. There they are on the TV news every night decrying the persecution of their clients who are patriots and true Americans, the frontline warriors against tyranny, etc., etc. I like how he's like so passionate and bitter about this. Like, of course, he's put so much of himself in that work. But this also like this backstory just sort of reflects and adds to the thesis, if you will, of the X Files is that basically there is no justice and red tape bureaucracy um, will not let you win, and you can do your best job to protect the people and to punish the guilty. But as long as the system itself is corrupt, nothing is going to change. Which is all completely fictional, of course. The X Files pipeline from loving CC to wanting to discuss choices with him should be studied. We all have that transition. Yes, for different reasons. Um, for different reasons. But like I mostly I want to pick his brain about so many things. And but I just know that I haven't yet seen watched the Sean's episode, the latest episode he did, which was he interviewed Chris Carter. Like, oh my God, I haven't gotten to that yet. But the interviews that I have seen with him, he is being very evasive about like his motivations, and he will never explain the some things like in a mythology, which is like fine. He's doing a David Lynch. Um, but I would still like to just pick his brain about certain things, like certain shared interests in like mythology, not just the X-Files mythology, but like world mythology, and conspiracy theories and politics. um, that would have been, I mean, that would be the dream. But then again, I would have to like rewatch the whole show so that and like really do my homework. It's just too much work. Massive study needs to happen. I ain't got to the I Want to Believe movie, but it's making me laugh how everyone got upset over removing two kisses from the film. You know what? I'm gonna make a lot of MSR shippers upset, but I just love the fact that the show, like the original show, has been like it was finished in 20 like in 2002. This movie, this director's cut, this movie is from 2008. The revival uh, ended in 2018, and still Chris Carter finds new ways to piss off MSR shippers. I just There's a part of me that really respects that still he will not give the satisfaction of like, no, I'm not going to turn the X Files into a mushy like love melodrama. Like, this is, and I'm sure he has his own. I haven't seen the director's cut. I'm sure he has his own like logical reasons for removing those two kisses. But I just like, he like every time he goes on, like, does an interview or something, he'll just says something that will rile the fandom, like will rile the MSR shippers up, and they just like, calm down. First of all, it's fiction, okay? It's fiction. Second, why are you letting yourselves like be, riled up so much? It's just like he says something, and they will just go on Twitter and they will like, damn you, Chris Carter, I hate you. Like, calm down. It's fiction. And also, it's his show, it's his universe. He can do what he wants. If you don't like it, that's fine. There's a lot of things that I don't like there either. But this is what fan fiction is for. Uh, and also, I read like on Facebook somewhere like, we fans just want more. We just want fans want MSR. Fans don't want any more storylines. Okay, first of all, hold your horses. You can't speak for all the fans. Okay, you mean MSR shippers want MSR. Other fans, different fans want different things. I'm sure there's some MSR shippers who also love the intricate storytelling, intricate storylines, and like conspiracies and new sort of developments and like uh, not just necessarily conspiracies, but they want new stories, new plot, new mysteries. Uh, and I'm sure there are some non-shippers who also sort of maybe tired of the mythology, how contrived it could get. But you like the worst offense that like I'm gonna make so many enemies right now, but the worst offense that the MSR shippers keep making, keep committing is speaking for the whole fandom as if their views, their priorities, and what they want to see on the show is word of law, is like is how it's supposed to be. I get it. I get it. I get why you ship them. I see it. However, not every like you can't speak for all the fans. I can't like I love Mulder Krychek. I love MKR. I love Krychek. I love different characters, different pairings. Like, and even I can speak for every MKR shipper. Even I can speak for every fan of Darren Morgan episodes. So it's the way that some fans are so presumptuous, and the way that they feel so entitled to having their wants, their wishes be the canon. Uh, it's it's very annoying, and and it's been like that since the very beginning of the show and the fandom. It's not a new thing. I just think that it's kind of funny that 30 years later and MSR shippers are still finding it so like they're still so angry that they're not getting enough MSR content. God, I'm gonna make so many people so angry. Okay. All right. Okay. There's a lot uh, in the chat. Exactly. The obsessed MSR shippers only care about the romance. I've never understood that. Yes, exactly. And like I have like read like opinions by people. I don't want the X Files to be about conspiracies and mysteries and politics and philosophy. I want all of that to be a like a side thing, and I want the romance to be the main thing. Then you're watching the wrong show. Then you're just watching the wrong show. The beauty of the X Files is in its complexity, is that you get these stories that are so full of subtext and say so much about the meaning of life, about free will, about um, how science and technology can be abused by bad actors, and how the government, not just the U.S. government, but like world government, like different countries' governments can use science to abuse people and to take people's autonomy. There are so many parallels with the real world, like women's reproductive health, uh, scientific experiments on people, uh, like Cold War, and then you have these uh, like there's so much you have so much of that complexity of these like sort of different layers that reflect the society back to us in this like through this distorted lens of horror and science fiction. And at the center of it you have these amazing characters who are so complex and have this very complicated relationship that is not just this like straightforward Nicholas Sparks romance. Uh, they are Mulder and Scully are so much more than just a Disney sort of romantic comedy pairing. That was what so was that is what was so revolutionary about Mulder and Scully in the first place. The MSR shippers today will say that, oh, I wish that they had sex in the first season. Do you realize that how revolutionary it was in 1993 to have a female lead that was not a love interest of the male lead? Do you realize how big a deal it was for the women's rights movement, for like representation of women in media, that she wasn't a love interest? Because Mulder is the main character, so, and he's the protagonist, and so like stereotypically, like on any, like, by the rules of television, they would get together immediately. uh, but because she wasn't a love interest, at first, because the relationship was just so much more than the sexual tension and the googly eyes, and because their relationship was so, they had to get through so much stuff just to learn to trust each other, and to to have that relationship be challenged and shaped uh, by their work environment, but by their work itself on the FBI. Uh, so the the main problem I have with MSR is that, in so many, like, the way that so many fans see it, and so many, like, so many, so much fanfic, MSR fan fiction, and just the way that the MSR discourse strips away so much of the complexity of the X Files, so much of the complexity of the characters, and in doing so, they're doing a disservice both to the show, to the storytelling, and to the characters, and to Scully, because what they essentially want is for Scully just to be a love interest. They still want her to be this, like, super badass, doctor, scientist, strong female character, but they also just want to you know, just skip to the sex. Don't you realize how, like, how degrading it is to a character like Scully? Okay, I'm back. Yes, exactly. Thank you. She's so much more than just romance. Yes, and maybe, uh, because Chris Carter is a man, and I love that. This whole, first of all, Mulder and Scully were sort of, they were not his, like, proxies or self inserts, but he said that they were sort of the manifestations of his own inner conflict, because he wants to believe in, like, I don't know, paranormal or spiritual, but he's also is a skeptic at heart. So this push and pull, like, in himself, um, led him to creating these characters, Mulder and Scully. But the revolutionary thing was that he gender bent. He switched gender roles. Mulder was had he was the believer, and he would possess all the qualities that you would see in a female character, and Scully in turn would possess all the qualities that you would usually see in a male character, which was it was revolutionary. But then, of course, Chris Carter is a man, and he can extrapolate and, like, think outside of the box to a certain degree. So it would have been interesting. I'm not saying give the X Files to someone else to write, but to have sort of a similar pairing, a similar dynamic, like, not the same characters, but like something like similar character, similar dynamic, but written by a woman writer. And I'm not generalizing. Not all women writers write the same way, or are identical. But would a woman writer or a different writer could they have written Mulder Scully's relationship a bit differently? Maybe gotten to the romance part quicker and made it more explicit without compromising, the integrity of Scully's character, and the complexity of their relationship. Um, That would have been interesting to see. I don't know. I don't know. Nick writes, and even relationships aren't perfect because humans aren't perfect. Thank you. There will be ups and downs in real life, and once they got together, I think some people wanted it to be a happily ever after exactly moment. When that doesn't happen, has been with my. Yes, thank you. Uh, like there is, the happily ever after doesn't exist, and like the whole, like there's a whole genre of movies and shows that you know exist simply solely to dismantle, to sort of to subvert, and to deconstruct that trope, happily ever after, like you know all the like 2000s, late 2000s media, like Shrek, and all those subversions of fairy tales. Like there is no happily ever after. Life goes on. There will be new challenges once you get together, uh, and I think that what MSR shippers want is for, I mean, their perfect ending was existence, right? Mulder and Scully holding their newborn baby, kissing, blah blah blah. Uh, they wanted that, and I guess I could, I could see that, maybe, at that point, there, I think, from like, and again, I can only speak for myself, but I think that at that point their story was over. I think that Mulder's quest had come to an end. He found the truth about his sister. Scully's quest, had come to an end, uh, you know, and they had this baby. And on more like a storytelling level, I think maybe it would have been better to just have let them have this ending on the show, and just imagine, okay, now they're living their family life, and it's not going to be perfect. They're going to argue a lot. We've seen how they were married in Arcadia. They're going to bicker a lot about toilet seats and toothpaste, uh, and whatnot. Uh, but I could see that. But this whole like illusion of, oh, happily ever after, it doesn't happen in real life, and I understand that fiction is not real life, but the X Files as a universe doesn't have a happily ever after. There's always something else. There's always something more. That's sort of the frustrating part about the X Files, is that there are never enough answers. There are always going to be more questions. There are always going to be more mysteries. You uncover one conspiracy, and then there's another, like, actually there's another one, bigger conspiracy behind it, or there's always like the universe of the X Files is endless when it comes to both like the supernatural phenomena and creatures, but also problems and mysteries. So they can't be a happily ever after on the X Files. And I think as frustrating as season finales and the series finale can be, they're not satisfying because they don't give you that sort of you know feeling of conclusion, and oh, you wrapped it all up in a nice package. That's how it is. Nothing ever gets wrapped up in a nice neat package. It just keeps going. So Nick writes, I've been with my partner for a long time, and we're never going to agree on everything exactly and not have rough patches, especially stressful times. Mulder and Scully are constantly in stressful situations and we have bad times. Yes, and also Mulder and Scully's relationship is at its core antagonistic, not in a bad way, but is always this push and pull. And even when they're not working, like we've seen in episodes, scenes where they're not working on a case, uh, they're they're always there's always this push and pull. There's always this antagonism. Like, what movies are they got? Like, they're watching a movie and Scully's like, oh, what, like Caddyshack? And he's like, well, when we're at my house, when we go to your house, we can watch Steel Magnolias. Uh, so the beauty of the relationship is because they're opposites, and they're both very independent, and it's not heteronormative. I think what a lot of MSR shippers want is a typical heteronormative, stereotypical romance, and they're not that. Even if you don't think, you say, oh, what, this whole like Mulder and Scully, they're secretly bisexual or gay. It's like it's not canon. Sure, okay, fine. But their relationship was never heteronormative. That was the whole point, is that Chris Carter subverted the gender roles, and their relationship was anything but a straightforward, straight love story. So when this is like what frustrates me, like I don't read MSR fan fiction, but the ones that I have read, they frustrated me to no end because of the writers. They just didn't know how to write a love story that wasn't a stereotypical straight love story. They just couldn't handle the complexity of Mulder and Scully. Jelly writes, also keep in mind Mulder is devoted to his work. Scully was making sure Scully was on her toes, helping him. Yes, Mulder was. I mean, it's. I like. I mean, I like to see the Mulder's arc. Like, his development of his, like, he lived for his work, and then gradually he started realizing that maybe Scully was more important than his work, and the times that he would sacrifice finding his own answers to save her. But exactly, Mulder is a seeker, a truth seeker, an explorer, and even you can see him being retired from the FBI. He's the kind of person that he would never be satisfied with just sitting around and doing nothing, just like bird watching, happy retired, you know, dad. It's just not. It's just not Mulder. And I think both for him and for Scully, they thrive on the challenge. They thrive on pursuing something and trying to uncover something. Um, as much as Scully, she was sort of you know, brought up to sort of believe that she wants this normal, stable life, like a husband and a child and white picket fence, normal job. We've seen time and again that she would choose the X-Files, and not just because she chose Mulder, but she chose the work, she chose the mystery, she chose you know she wanted to see what was out there. And so neither him or her would be fully satisfied just living a quiet, peaceful, happily ever after. Um, and I guess there is a way, or there was a way to write a sort of not an ending, but sort of to write a finale that would give us sort of a glimpse into how the relationship would continue. Now that they have this baby, whatever, and they are still together, but they're together, but they're not, but they haven't settled down. I think that also would have been interesting to see. To see how they would navigate, how they would reconcile, the family life and the constant sort of need for for more mysteries. Nick writes, exactly. The entire nature of the X-Files is that there's always something more to do. There will always be more corrupt governments, and people in positions of power will always try to exploit those under them. Yes, and Mulder and Scully were the crusaders for the truth, and they were, the Robin Hoods. And we need people like Mulder and Scully in real life. Too bad it's a TV show. Humanity is flawed, and it can't just be boxed up in a box that says fixed forever. Exactly. And um, this is what I really like about both the X Files and the Buffyverse, is that you don't get an ending on Buffyverse. Like every season finale like is either ends on a cliffhanger or it's very open ended, and just like with the X Files, like cliffhangers each season finale. But even the proper sort of serious finale, like on Buffy and Angel, they're not endings; they're continuations. So we just don't get to see the next chapter of that story. And that is the same with the X Files, and I really like that because, again, it reflects the complexity of life, and it just but like it doesn't have to be realistic. Realism isn't everything. Realism isn't everything, but fiction still needs to be able to reflect life back to us, to be relatable and to if we want to say something profound with our stories, we need to be able to write stories that reflect reality back to us, and like maybe so that we can discover something new about the real world by reading those stories. Okay, let's see. Bad guys, blah blah blah. You know what? I think it's time for Agent Wilmore to sleep. He has been listening to us, to me, ramble angrily about shipping. Okay, day two, go to field office, look for laptop. Ah, let's go to field office and find Cook in a compromised position. He's been very patient despite it having nothing to do with fish stocks. He's like, is this conversation going to, you know, be about fish? Like, are we nearing that part? We're going. Agent Wilmore has now become open-minded to shipping. I do ship him with Dorian though. I think they're so cute. He's such a himbo, and she's so patient with him. Okay, let's go to field office. Cook and Wilmore. I can't get over my dislike for Cook. To truly ship them. Maybe like a crack ship. Hi, Mark. You like the danger ships. Charlie likes the 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 bad ships.
Did you get the number of that bus? You okay? Yeah, I'm gonna live. Unfortunately, until Shanks gets a hold of me. Well, we better see if anything's missing.
It's interesting how you went directly there to see if there's anything missing, as if like you wanted um, Wilmore to go look for the laptop.
Scully's laptop is missing.
Yep.
That's your phone.
Acidorian and Wilmore are number one always. Top every ship for Wilmore, but it's more like toxic ship that ends. I mean, Cook and Wilmore, I could definitely see them have as exes, um, who sort of. I just love the way he steps over Cook. Um, that they had sort of a maybe if they had something going on, but it ended badly.
Is this Agent Wilmore?
Yay!
Yes.
Agent Wilmore, this is Agent Pendrell of the Psi Crime Lab in D.C. I completed the preliminary analysis of the blood sample from your office. I'm afraid I got some bad news. It looks like that blood belongs to Agent Scully.
Oh, Jesus.
Exes.
Are you certain?
Fairly. A more detailed analysis will confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that's Scully's blood. At the very least, we know she's been injured. Was there much blood at the scene?
Yeah, a fair amount.
Looks like it's not fast. Look.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the call.
Sure. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
Sure, no problem.
Oh, Agent Wilmore?
Yeah?
Keep me informed, okay?
All right, thanks.
More good news. That fisherman you interviewed yesterday has just been shot to death.
How do you know that I interviewed him?
How did you know about Wong?
What?
How did you know I went to see Wong yesterday?
He told me. Hey, I was the one hit on the head, remember?
Nice diversion. I told you about Wong?
I told you about Wong? I just forgot, I guess. Why did they only take Scully's laptop?
You got me. Shanks is gonna be furious.
Not to mention Skinner.
Oh, now there's something to look forward to. First they disappear, then we lose his prize agent's confidential records. I don't know what you're involved in, but someone's got some big brass ones in order to steal equipment from an FBI field office.
Oh, Mark.
So? What happened to you?
I came in early to catch up on your work, and someone jumped me.
Did you see who hit you?
Nope. Whoever did it was real quiet.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, I want to believe, would you believe that I only saw that movie once? Because I didn't like it. For my own reasons, I guess different, from the shipper reasons. But I remember I'm watching it, the movie, with my brother, I guess around the time it came out, not around the time it came out, but like maybe 2010, 2012, something like that. We didn't like it, and I tried, like years later, I tried to give it another chance, and I think I got through like the first 20 minutes, and I just couldn't. And I guess that makes me a bad fan. But in order for me, because I don't remember anything about that movie, in order for me to appreciate and to notice all the differences in the director's cut, I need to watch the original, theatrical release first. And I don't know if I can if I can bring myself to do it. It just feels like a chore. Feels like since I'm an X-Files fan, it's sort of my job to watch it and have an opinion on it, but I just can't bring myself to watch even the original version. It's just not my kind of movie. I appreciate what Chris Carter was trying to do with that movie. I mean, I really do. But it's just not for me. I would believe it. I can't lie. It feels like a sequel, but then again, I haven't seen it yet. Like a badish sequel. It's okay. So the thing with I want to believe is when it was coming out, and if I remember it correctly, it was such a big deal because the show had ended. It was canceled. It didn't end sort of on a high note, and fans wanted more. We wanted more, and that was also the reason the revival happened. It wasn't just every show is getting revived, rebooted. It's just a cash grab. It's like nostalgia baiting. Maybe in a lot of cases, some other cases, but the X Files, we really wanted more X Files. We really did. It was a fan passion project. But anyway, so when I Want to Believe came out, we were all, we were very excited, and it became a huge disappointment for a lot of fans, for a lot of people, and I think it did make a lot of money at box office. And uh, one explanation is that it had the bad luck of being released at roughly the same time as The Dark Knight, which understandable. But the I think what a lot of fans, like both shippers and non-shippers, wanted, or sort of were expecting, understandably, was another mythology movie in the spirit of Fight the Future. We thought we were getting more aliens, more main mythology resolution to to the questions that were never answered in the original show, and instead, I Want to Believe is a Monster of the Week movie. And I guess that alone was enough to disappoint some fans, that we weren't going to get answers about the mythology and the alien invasion, and super soldiers and stuff like that. I think that there is nothing wrong with having an X-Files movie that is a Monster of the Week movie, because Monster of the Week episodes were just as essential to the X-Files as the mythology episodes. So there is, sure, we can have a Monster of the Week movie. Like, it's X-Files, you can tell so many stories. I just didn't like that particular Monster of the Week. I didn't like that the particular the plot, the story itself. And I think for me, it's sort of, if I would rank that movie among the Monster of the Week episodes, that would be on a lower end. Trying to think of a monster of a Monster of the Week episode that I didn't quite like. I would rank it. I don't even know. Like, I'm thinking, some of the best ones and some of the worst ones, and it's neither of those. It's like, it's mediocre as far as Monster of the Week stories go for me. So yeah, that's sort of the difference. People were, because Fight the Future is an action movie. It's a classic X-Files, it's a mystery, it's a detective story, but it's also an action movie. And it's a great action movie. I Want to Believe is a crime thriller, a dark, gritty crime thriller in the spirit of Silence of the Lambs. What else is there? Like David Fincher type movies, which I think is great in its its own way. But I just didn't like the story. I didn't like Mulder and Scully there. I just remember Scully being so maudlin and such a downer, and they were fighting all the time. Not like like sort of Mulder and Scully back and forth, but like really like fighting and arguing about, like, I don't know. It just, so I don't know. I guess I should give it another chance. But just it's so much work. Chris Carter was like, "Nah, we ain't giving that." I think it's because I'm not sure that it was Chris Carter's choice. Even I think it was a budget question. I think they weren't given enough of a budget to make a proper mythology, like a movie worthy of Fight the Future. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a budget question, because they didn't have enough resources basically to make And I think that's good. That's better than is better than trying to make a big, a movie, trying to make a movie as big and ambitious as Find the Future, and failing because you don't have enough budget. That's exactly what we were talking about when we were discussing schlocky movies. Is it's what you get when the ambition and the budget or the competence don't match up. And so yes, I think if you're not you know that you won't be able to tell the story, you know the the big story properly. Yeah, I mean, Monster of the Week, like a smaller, more sort of dialogue driven uh, story is a better choice. Shelley writes, I crave they make books on the mythology, like a whole book on everything about each mytharch. You know what? You know alt.tv.x files, the ATX, that very first, well, X Files message board. I came across, like, I was, reading like hundreds and hundreds of messages, to research for my pod, and I came across this like quote. This one user, one fan, and that was like way back in the 90s, uh, wrote, I think, or like, I hope that, like, years from now, Chris Carter is going to release a book that would answer all of the questions about the X Files, like all of the mythology. It's just like, it's just gonna be the book about the X Files and just gonna answer everything. And like some 20 years later, someone responded, like after the show had ended, someone responded to that original message. Like something, they wrote something sarcastic, like, yeah, right, or something to that extent. And so, yeah, you're not the only one who would appreciate like a full, comprehensive sort of, you know, tome, this on the X Files, like mythology, like explaining, like this omnibus, right? It's not gonna happen. Nick writes, I liked it more, I want to believe, on subsequent watches and appreciate it for what it is. But you absolutely have to take it as its own thing, exactly. I think the reason it wasn't a mythology plot was because the execs executives wanted something new fans could get into without knowing the lore. That could also be it, absolutely. But I'm thinking, could Chris Carter have written a movie that, could do both? I don't know. Because I think he would I think I remember him saying something that, about like the challenge of making I Want to Believe was to satisfy both, the new viewers, like the first timers and the fans. And um, I think I think that movie succeeded in doing that. Then again, I'm coming in as an established fan, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask someone whose first introduction to the X Files was Find the Future. If Chris Carter doesn't do it, I'm suing. You're just gonna have to ask Chris. You're gonna have to ask him if he plans on releasing. But I'm thinking, like, if he ever does release like an omnibus, that would, like, would answer all the, like, would contain all the information about all of the X Files mythology, uh, he would still find a way to piss off some fans, and he would still find a way to leave out some very vital information and make it very ambiguous and very, hazy. He would still find a way to do that, and I respect that. Somebody give me his email. I'm packing courage. I don't know. I don't think that Chris Carter's email is something that a layperson would know. I think that information is on a need to know basis. Okay, what? Oh, right. Wong. He got shot. I don't think he ever will. I think he knows that he still has a hold on the fans the longer he keeps things back. Yes, exactly. And that is kind of brilliant in its own way because if he, first of all, it's very like it's not satisfying when the creator after the show has ended or after all of the books have been written, the creator will just come out and just give you the answers, right? Uh, it's not satisfying. We want the answer, like the answers should be sort of, if you're gonna give the answers, give them in a story. Don't just come out and like tweet something like some, the answers or some conclusion, some resolution. It's a cop out, right? Um, but also, if he were to do all of that, then that would be it. And of course, like people would still be watching the show and loving the show, but it's it's the mystery, it's the promise of something more. It's that the knowledge, sort of realization that there is more to uncover, that is so titillating. So I think Nick is completely right, uh, here, that once you give all the answers, that's all there is, and you want to keep. And also, like, I understand that a lot of shippers, they just want answers about like Mulder and Scully and the baby, William, and those things, but and I understand that, I do, but uh, it also, today, the audience, whether it's like readers or viewers, are so, how should I say this without hurting anyone's feelings? People don't want to. People want to be given every answer at once, and to just not just, to be spoon-fed answers, but people just want to have all the answers, and they want, because they feel strongly about characters they love, and the stories they love, and they just want all the answers. But that's not that's not a good story. uh, you're supposed to have questions after you have finished something, because you're supposed to keep thinking about these things after you finish something, especially with something like the X-Files or Twin Peaks, um, something that is a little more challenging to the mind, to the imagination. It's supposed to These stories are not supposed to be exhaustive, right? If Chris Carter were to write an episode that would explain everything about the nature of Fluke Man, or it's just that that's not fun. That's not fun for the viewers. That's not fun. And like the same with books, it's not fun for the readers. You should want to, you know, to want more. Like it's the same theater, leave them wanting more. You should want to have questions in the end, and to keep thinking about things and coming up with your own theories and making connections, like long after you finished watching a show or reading a book. That just just consuming culture isn't enough, and that's I think that's what culture is right now with the internet. Like, we just consume, and we want to be spoon fed, and we want to be fed all the answers, and we want everything to be wrapped up in a nice package, and we want, like, whether it's a happy ending or a sad ending, we just want an ending that is satisfying, and just doesn't have any complexity, or doesn't require you to think. But that's media, books, literature, TV, like good TV. They have never been about that. They have always been about, it's not just a consumption. It's not just, I write something, you read it, and that's it, and the process stops. It's a back and forth. When you're reading something, you're not just consuming that piece of literature, you're interacting with it. You're thinking about it, you're making your own connections, you're extrapolating your own experiences, your own biases on these characters, on these storylines, and you interpret the story differently than anyone else would. Like even someone who is like your twin, like you like all the same things. Like we both love the X-Files and we both love the same characters, but we'll still interpret these stories differently based on our own experiences and based on our own biases, um, and this is what unfortunately today is is missing. People want answers right away and they want all the answers. You should want to think and to, uh, uh, like ponder and like have these like nagging questions. Like after you finish watching Twin Peaks, you should have like these like going around like all day, like days after you'd finished it, like thinking about the plot and the story, and making your own connections. That's what makes that is the crux, the sort of the meat of the relationship between you and the culture that you are engaging with. It's not just consumption. It's not just like just mindlessly staring at a screen and just having information fed to you without thinking. And that also, we there's also discussion about like critical thinking and how it's a dying art form, but you culture is not content to be consumed. Culture is it's a conversation between the writer and the reader, the showrunner and the viewer. And the X-Files, I think, is one of the best examples of this interaction, this interplay. Is the X-Files, like the writers of the X-Files, they knew what the fans wanted. They were in on the discussion. They were reading, like in the 90s, they were hanging around these message boards, and they knew they were very aware of the fans' sort of attitudes and what they thought about the characters. So, okay, we we have been streaming for almost 2 hours. We haven't gotten any work done aside from that stakeout in the beginning. Oh my god. This is why I love making theories about the show, and it gets me thinking outside the box. Exactly. And this is as frustrating as it is for me as a fan of Krychek, that he didn't get a proper backstory. He didn't get like a proper episode just dedicated to how he got to where where we found him. As frustrating as it is, for me as a fan, I appreciate that there is room for ambiguity and interpretation. How boring it would be if they would just write his backstory and just this is what happened to him, this is where he comes from, and that's what he's about, and that's it. A character as complex as Alex Krycek, or as complex as Fox Mulder, a straightforward like backstory, like that's it. It will be it's not satisfying. It doesn't do service to the character. So I think that we know that Nick Lee had his own sort of ideas of where Krycek was coming from, and he let that inform how he played him. I guess the writers had their own own view and visions of that character, and every viewer, every fan has their own theories and their own notions, and that's it's the ambiguity and the complexity and the withholding of information that contributes to good storytelling. feeling intellectual today. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I thought we were gonna just plow through the Jeep. We're just gonna speed through. Oh my God, the story. But it's almost been 2 hours and we haven't got any work done. And we usually like end it at this point. We're gonna go. We're gonna keep playing for a little while longer. But good Lord, yeah, I'm gonna make a lot of shippers, a lot, like very very angry, and it's not like a personal attack against fans who love Mulder and Scully and want them to get together. I am just my frustration is with the discourse of MSR and the way that certain fans, certainly not all the fans, but certain fans want that to be the dominant, their view to be the dominant view, and they bully. I haven't experienced it myself, but I know that a lot of some fans, my friends who don't ship Mulder and Scully, who ship like Mulder and Krychek, or who just are not shippers, they have been bullied by MSR shippers. It has happened, and the way that they just because they think that because they want Mulder and Scully to be together, and then everyone else should want that too, and the way that they when they critique the criticism of the X-Files and the stories and the characters, become so skewed into, oh, but the main problem with the X-Files is that it wasn't shippy enough, that they didn't get their happily ever after, it wasn't MSR enough, there wasn't enough kissing, and that becomes sort of the main discourse, the main critique. Well, there is so much more to critique about that show and to discuss about that show. So my problem, my grievance is with the discourse and with this attitude, that just because I want the story to be a certain way, that everyone else wants it also this way, and I think that I'm right, and it has to be written this way the way I want it, and if it's not, then it's a bad show. So that is my problem with the MSR discourse, and also the stripping away of complexity of the characters. Okay, yeah, let's go to the warehouse again. Poor Wong. Okay, yes. Go to warehouse, ask about Wong's killing.
Sorry, Chief. Crime scene. No civilians.
But what if I show you this?
Hey, come on in.
Well, congratulations, old-timer. I don't know what you were doing, but you just warranted the involvement of the federal government. Lucky you.
All right. Let's talk to some people.
So what have you got?
Well, Agent Wilmore, barring any unexpected revelation, looks like somebody shot this man in the back of the head.
Any sign of a struggle?
Nope. Either he was totally surprised or he knew his killer.
What caliber weapon was used?
Big, 45 looks like, maybe a 357. Hit him in the mastoid bone. That's that big, spongy mass of bone behind the ear. It shatters more easily, so there's an inordinate amount of damage. A lot of bone fragments get driven up into the brain. That's where Oswald hit JFK.
I take it you subscribe to the lone gunman theory.
No, I think aliens killed JFK.
I gather there were no witnesses.
I don't think so, but you better check with Detective Astadorian. Medical examiner doesn't get much chance to interrogate bystanders.
was the time of death?
Well, preliminarily, I'd say he's been dead for about 6 hours, so that would make the time of death early in the AM.
Have we met?
Yeah, we both worked on that kidnapping last year, remember?
Sorry.
No problem. It was a big team.
Agent Wilmore and his inability to, let's just say, how should I put this? An ability to not offend people, not make it awkward.
Any idea what happened?
No?
Any thought on motive?
Robbery'd be my guess. Ask Astrodorian. It's her case.
Can I get some copies of those?
Sure. Give me a name.
Craig Wilmore, FBI.
No problem. It'll take a couple days.
We don't have a couple of days. All right, let's see. Poor Wong. Let's see, what does he have? Is a cigarette? He said he wasn't smoking. So he was lying about. He was lying about that too. He was lying about everything. He's ready he's ready to talk about fish stocks to his girlfriend. Yeah. Okay, sunflower seeds. I like it's a reference to Mulder. I guess Wong was liked chewing on those too. Okay, let's go. Okay, Wong, nice knowing ya. Let's go see Astrodorian.
What can I do for you?
Special Agent Craig Wilmore, FBI.
FBI. What's the Bureau's interest in this case?
I think Wong may have a connection to this warehouse.
Well, he did dock his boat next door, so I wouldn't discard it out of hand. You want to maybe fill me in on the details?
I'm investigating the disappearance of 2 agents.
Okay, so what's the connection to this man?
My investigation led me to this warehouse. Inside we found evidence of foul play, including the blood of one of our missing agents. I spotted Wong, asked him a few questions about the warehouse. Now he's dead. I'm not certain what the connection is, but I'm pretty certain there is one.
I'll buy that. Interesting. This case just went from routine to fun. Thanks.
Anytime.
They are actively flirting. So what happened?
So, what have you got?
Harbor Master found the body. He was shot once in the back of the head, large caliber by the looks of it. No witnesses, no sign of struggle.
That's it?
So far.
Oh God, so many more questions. It's a lovely color on you. Okay, should we do that? Should we say that to her? That's so awkward and mildly inappropriate. You think it's gonna hinder our investigation if we give her a compliment? I'm gonna do it.
It's a lovely color on you.
Thank you. I bought it myself.
Don't annoy her. Oh wow. Don't do what I did. Oh wow.
Any reports of trouble in this area?
No. All's quiet on the waterfront.
It's too bad.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to just pin this on gang activity and be done with it?
Okay, fine. No more flirting. Until she flirts back. I mean, first.
So, where's the harbor master?
Gone for coffee.
Have you questioned him yet?
Nope.
She called me an a-hole
No,
for
I
that.
search
For
boats.
what? For telling her she has a nice color of shirt or whatever?
Any
Turtleneck?
thoughts on motive?
Haven't quite gotten there yet. Just about to go onto the boat.
Well, robbery seems unlikely to me. Didn't look like the old guy had much.
Probably true. But you'd be amazed at what people will kill for. He probably had a cigar box full of cash. Unless maybe he was killed for squealing to the feds.
I wish I thought that was funny.
Well, Wong didn't exactly run with the most desirable crowd. All right, looks like it's time to board the good ship Agrippa. Care to join me? Answer me this. Where'd he put his fish?
What?
His catch. Where'd he put his catch? There's no freezers. Hell, there's not even an ice chest on board. So where'd the fish go? And by the
That's
looks of
the
it,
million-dollar
pretty
question.
serious gas tanks down there.
No fish. Okay, let's first we're gonna. To be fair, it was the first thing I said instead of hi, hello. Ah, okay, yeah. You probably don't want to open with something like that. You know, especially like with a woman detective. I mean, I wouldn't respond well to that. So. God, he was so messy. So messy. Let's see, we're gonna find some medication, right? Because my notes kind of stop after the second stakeout, so I'm gonna have to write down more, you know, as we go along. That's kind of gross. This panda has some stains on it. Looks like coffee stains. I hope it's coffee stains. Okay. See. Tarp. Terracan. The Terracan. Alright. There was some meds we're supposed to find in a. Yep. She was not down to get flirty and regretted it. I mean, she will eventually, once she gets to know him a little better and, you know, sees that he's not a creep. He's just very, very awkward. Okay, was there anything else? Okay, let me see. Collect pills. Jacket. Jacket, was that the yellow thing? Talk to cop. Okay, I think we got everything. Okay, let's go talk to Astadorian.
What's the Terracon?
What?
Terracon. What is it?
I don't know why.
I found this slicker in the cabin labeled the Terracon.
Guess it's the name of the boat.
No, wait, the boat's name is Agrippa.
No. This boat's called the Agrippa.
Well, guess that adds another mystery to your list, doesn't it?
He's not very subtle. His flirting needs some polishing.
Did you know Mr. Wong was taking stolen painkillers?
What the hell are you talking about?
I found a cache of pills in his cabin. No prescription labels, obviously stolen goods. Industrial spec quantities, too.
How interesting. Well, that certainly adds a sordid little wrinkle to things, doesn't it?
What's up? Still think the motive for his murder was robbery?
Let's just see what the autopsy reveals, alright?
So, what's your theory on the hold?
My guess is that Wong was not quite what he seemed. I think this boat was being used for something other than fishing, which certainly puts a spin on his murder.
Did you know fish stocks have been declining in this area recently?
No. Where'd you pick that up at?
Wong told me yesterday.
Ah, well, there's a reliable source.
And you believed him? You believed Wong?
I'm finished. I'm gonna take Wong here for his free ride.
Ask her to give me a call when she's finished.
Okay. It was a pretty easy morning. It shouldn't take too long.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, Wong. You deserve better.
The harbor master's returned.
Well, hello. I wish you told me there was two of you. I'd have brought another coffee.
That's all right. Agent Wilmore here is trying to catch up.
Well, still, I could have brought you decaf.
I like her. Okay, you guys, we've been streaming for like 2 hours now. And we usually keep it like under 2 hours. Do you want to call it a night and get back to it another time? I know we didn't get a lot of stuff done because, you know, I got off into so many tangents. I guess I just had a lot of frustration to release about, you know, the fandom and the discourse, and I guess I just had to, you know, to vent. But what do you say we leave it here, and then we're gonna be more productive next time? Sure. Okay, no worries. We had a lot to discuss. We did have a lot to discuss, and I'm sorry I didn't read all of the chat, but it looked like you had like a vivid discussion there too. It was such a fun talk. It was a fun talk. It was a fun talk with the risk of alienating some of my fellow fans. It was a lot of fun, and I miss that. I miss discussing not just the X-Files, but like literature and culture. I just miss that. I wish I could do more of that. But it's like it's a lot of fun and a lot of like rewarding to be discussing it with you guys. So yes, it's all good. So interesting with different opinions. It is interesting with the different opinions, and that is what makes it so fun and rewarding. Is that we do have different opinions, like just in this fandom alone, and that, you know, we shouldn't try and impose our own views onto other fans, and you know, get angry when the writers don't write the story exactly the way we want it, because it's, first of all, it's impossible. Second of all, we all want different things, and we all appreciate different things about the show. So yes, okay, let's save, and then maybe the doc in the meantime, the harbor master can bring Wilmore a coffee too. Yes, please save. All right. Let's quit. And there. And that's it. And I thank you guys for being here tonight with me. I really wish that Agent Neko could join, but they couldn't. So maybe next time we'll see. Uh, the schedule, like right now, we're doing Fridays and Saturdays, and we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, like this time fits like most of us, but things change, and we're just gonna have to be flexible. Thank you again. Hope you had a good time. I had a great time. It was fun. It was fun as always. It was fun, and thank you for letting me vent, and for indulging me in uh, my tangents about phantoms and culture and literature. But yeah, have it was fun. It was fun. I'm glad you could be here, and have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Saturday night. Well, it's almost Sunday morning, and I'll see you guys on Instagram. Okay, bye bye.